You have been staring at the signature line for 3 minutes. The terms are not going to change. No, don't look at the door. The guards won't help you. And the private elevator requires my fingerprint. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. I understand this is confusing. Waking up in a room you don't recognize. Sitting across from a man you don't know. You have a lot of questions. But I promise you, you are safer in this chair right now than you were in your own apartment 12 hours ago. You don't believe me. I can see it. That is fine. Just do what I tell you. Stay exactly where you are. I said, do not move. Don't look back at me. Keep your eyes on the paper. Don't flinch. I'm just giving you the pen. Take it. Wrap your fingers around the metal. Like that. Yes. Your hands are so cold. Don't try to pull away from me. I am just showing you where to sign. Right there. Sign it. Right on the dotted line. If you put the pen down, if you refuse, I will let the people heading to your apartment handle your situation. The loan sharks will not be as patient as I am. They will not offer you breakfast first. They will simply break things until they get what they want. I don't want them to break you. So write your name. Write your name, and everything else goes away. Keep going. The first name and the last. Good. Was that so difficult? Now, let me explain exactly what you just agreed to. Who am I? That is the first question you want to ask? Not, where am I? Not, what did I just put my name on? Just, who are you? My name is Zen. Does that mean anything to you? I didn't think so. We do not move in the same circles. But I know exactly who you are. I know your address. I know where you work. And I know that exactly 12 hours ago you were sitting on the floor of your kitchen trying to figure out how to stop the bleeding. Financial bleeding, obviously. Don't look at me like that. I don't have cameras in your apartment. I didn't need them. The people you borrowed from are not exactly discreet when someone misses a payment. Let me sit down. You can let go of the pen. You were in trouble, deep trouble. The kind of trouble that doesn't just go away if you ignore it. Your father's hospital bills, the tuition for your sister, the rent you haven't paid in 3 months. You went to people who do not forgive debts. People who were planning to visit you at dawn this morning to collect what they were owed, in whatever currency you had left to give. They were going to take everything from you. But they didn't. Do you know why? Because I stopped them. I stepped in, and I fixed your problem. I made a few phone calls. I wired the funds. And the men who were going to break your door down this morning were told to walk away. You are welcome. You don't have to thank me yet. You still don't understand the situation. You asked what you just signed. You signed a transfer of debt. All of it. Every single dollar you owed to every single creditor. The hospital, the private lenders, the sharks downtown. $847,000. Yes, I know the exact number, down to the cent. I bought it all at 3 in the morning while you were asleep in my guest room. I paid them off. All of them. Which means you no longer owe them anything. You owe me. I am your only creditor now. The only person you have to answer to. I can see the panic setting in again. Your chest is moving too fast. Breathe. I told you to breathe. Slow it down. I am not them. I am not going to send men to your door to break your fingers. I am not going to harass your family. I am not going to burn down your father's business. I operate differently. Your eyes are on the door again. I told you, you cannot leave. Not yet. You owe me nearly $1 million. Did you honestly think I was just going to pay it off and let you walk out of here? I am a businessman. I do not make investments without expecting a return. And you are a very significant investment. Stop shaking. I haven't even told you my terms yet. And I think you are going to find my terms very reasonable. Much more reasonable than the alternative. What do I want? That is the right question. I want your absolute cooperation, nothing less. You think this is a game. You think because I haven't yelled at you or threatened you with a weapon that you have leverage here. You don't. Let me paint a picture for you. Last night, when word got out that your debt was being sold by the private lenders, there was an auction. I wasn't the only one who showed up to bid on you. 3 other men wanted to buy your paper. One of them was your former landlord. I think you remember him. The one who used to let himself into your apartment when he thought you weren't home? Yes, he was there. Another was the man who runs the nightclub downtown. He had a very specific job in mind for you to work off what you owed. A job that would have kept you very busy every night for the next 10 years. And the third man? You do not ever want to meet the third man. They all wanted you. They all placed bids. And I outbid every single one of them. So before you start making demands, or asking what I want, remember who was standing in line behind me. Where are you going? I told you the door is locked. Are you going to try and run? To leave this room? Go ahead, touch the handle. But before you do, let me show you something. This is my phone. I placed it right here on the desk. I opened a timer, 60 seconds. If you open that door and walk out, I will not stop you. My guards will let you to the elevator. You can walk right out into the street. But if you do, the moment this timer hits 0, I will make one phone call, and I will transfer your contract to the man who runs the club downtown. I will sell you to him for exactly what I paid. He was very disappointed when he lost the auction last night. I am sure he would be thrilled to know you are back on the market. You have 45 seconds. You're just standing there, with your hand hovering over the doorknob. 30 seconds. If you leave, you belong to him. If you stay, you belong to me. Make your choice. 15 seconds. 10. 5. Good choice. Sit back down. Your hands shake. Don't do that. You are safe here. As long as you stay in this house, no one else gets to touch you. No one else gets to collect. I own your debt now, which means I own the problem. And I protect what is mine, especially something that cost me nearly $1 million. You are the most expensive thing I have ever bought. I am going to take very good care of you. Now, let's talk about how you will pay me back without using a single dollar. You want to know how you will pay me back. The answer is simply by being here. Every day you stay in this house without trying to leave, I will erase $10,000 from your debt. 10,000, just for waking up under my roof. Every night you join me for dinner in the dining room, another 5,000. If you choose to sit next to me instead of across the table, that is another 5,000. And if you decide that the guest suite is too cold, if you sleep in my room, $20,000 erased. I sleep on the left side. The right side has already been made for you. You think this is a joke. You think I play some kind of psychological game with you. You wonder why I didn't just let the man from the nightclub buy your paper. Because I saw what he had planned for you. I saw the itinerary, the guest list for his private rooms, and your name was at the very top. And I decided that was unacceptable. So, you will stay here, and you will let me take care of you, and your debt will slowly disappear. I offer you a way out, a comfortable way out. You do not have to lift a finger. You do not have to work 3 jobs anymore. You just have to exist in my space. You just have to let me look at you. Let me know you are safe. Let me know you are mine. Does that sound like a punishment to you? You are angry. You can say it. You just called me a monster. A monster who paid off almost $1 million of your debt and is offering you a place to sleep. I must be terrifying. You say you won't do it. You say you would rather owe the sharks. You would rather be dragged out of your apartment tonight. You would rather be sold to the highest bidder in some basement. Stop talking. Look up at me. You say all the right words. You tell me how much you hate this, how much you hate being controlled, how you refuse to be bought. You keep looking at me like you're afraid, but your hands haven't moved. They are resting perfectly still on your lap. Your knuckles aren't white. You aren't bracing yourself for an impact. You are not shrinking away from me. Even now, with my hand on you, you are not pulling your chin away. You aren't closing your eyes to hide. Your pulse is steady. Try to convince yourself that you want to run, but your body knows you don't. You can keep calling me names if it makes you feel better, if it helps you justify staying here. I don't mind. I actually like the fire in your voice. I like that you haven't given up yet. I like that you still think you have a choice in how this ends. It tells me you finally start to understand that I pay you to want me. And that terrifies you because you think it might work. There is nothing to negotiate. You can argue with me for the next 3 hours if you want to. You can try to change the rules. But the system stands. No, I will not accept a payment plan. No, you cannot get a job and wire me the money every month. I don't need your money. I have more money than I could spend in 3 lifetimes. I need your time. I am buying your proximity. You say that is insane. Let me remind you, you are the one who racked up $847,000 in debt. I am the one offering you a clean slate. Who is being insane here? You can pace around the room all you want. It does not change the math. Every day you are here, 10,000. Every dinner, 5. Every night in my bed, 20. You do not have to do anything you do not want to do. If you want to spend the next 84 days locked in the guest suite, avoiding me, you can do that. Your debt will still clear. But I know you. I know you won't do that. You are too curious, and you are too smart to waste an opportunity. We will have dinner at 8. I suggest you wear something comfortable. The guest suite is down the hall on the right. I will see you tonight. You're down early. I wasn't expecting you for another hour. You didn't sleep well? I'm sorry to hear that. The mattress in the guest suite is usually very comfortable. Perhaps you would prefer the one in my room tonight. Just an offer. Sit down. Breakfast is already here. Yes, that is a vanilla latte with oat milk and exactly 1 pump of caramel. Why are you looking at it like it's poisoned? It's your usual order, isn't it? From the cafe on 4th Street? I didn't ask you. I simply paid attention. I watched. And yes, that is the exact edition of the book you were reading last week on the subway. I noticed yours had a torn cover. I thought you might appreciate a new one. She pushes her chair back to stand up. Sit down. He leans over, placing his hands on the table on either side of her, boxing her in. I am not finished. You want to know how I know these things? I am a very observant man. When I make an investment, I do my research. I like to know everything about the assets I acquire. Your routines, your preferences, the places you go when you need to be alone. It shouldn't scare you. It should comfort you. You will never have to ask for anything again, because I already know what you need. Drink your coffee before it gets cold. You look beautiful this morning, even if you didn't sleep. And you have one of my shirts on. I noticed you found the clothes in the closet. They suit you. Drink your coffee. You should not be in here. My office is the one room in this house I did not give you a tour of. Usually, people understand what that implies. But you always were too curious for your own good. Don't close the folder. I already saw what you were looking at. Yes, those are photographs of you from 2 years ago. And yes, those are your receipts, your grocery lists, a transcript of a voicemail you left your sister in December. That silver necklace in your hand? The one you thought you lost on the train last summer? You didn't lose it. I kept it. I'm not angry that you found it. I am just watching you. standing in my office in the middle of the night, wearing my shirt, holding a file that proves I have been watching you for years. You are frozen. The air in the room just shifted. But you aren't dropping the folder. You are still clutching it against your chest. That shirt looks better on you than it ever did on me. You want to know why I have all of this? Why I kept the necklace? Keep going. Look at the very bottom of the box. There is a second folder underneath. Open it. Read the documents inside. Take your time. Read every single page. I am not going anywhere. I have been waiting for this exact moment for 2 years. I want you to understand exactly who you belong to and exactly how long you have been mine. Open the second folder. Keep reading. Don't stop now. You wanted to know the truth. Look at the letterhead. Yes, that is the holding company that bought the debt from your father's hospital. And underneath it, the shell corporation that acquired the lease to your apartment building. Turn the page. You recognize that signature. You just saw it on the contract on my desk yesterday. It's mine. All of them are mine. You are finally putting it together. I didn't just step in at the last minute to save you from the loan sharks. I was the loan shark. I was the debt collector calling you at midnight. I was the hospital administrator denying the payment plan. I was all of them. Every single one. I orchestrated the entire thing. I made sure every single debt you accrued over the last 2 years was quietly purchased by one of my companies. I boxed you in. I dismantled your life piece by piece. I built the maze, and I made sure every single exit led directly to my front door, so that when you finally ran out of options, you would have nowhere else to run. I know I sound insane. Perhaps I am. But I am an insane man who now has exactly what he wants. Don't back away from me. Don't do that. The proof is in your hands. I spent millions of dollars and 2 years of my life just to get you into this house. Do you think backing away is going to work? You can throw the papers at me if you want. It doesn't change anything. You ask why. Why I would do this. Why I would engineer an entire financial collapse just to trap you. You don't remember, do you? 2 years ago, in the alley behind the restaurant where you used to work. It was raining. You were taking out the trash at the end of your shift. I was sitting against the brick wall. I had a gunshot wound in my shoulder and another in my side. I was bleeding out in the dark. My own people didn't know where I was. The men who shot me were still looking for me. I was waiting to die. And then you walked out. You didn't scream. You didn't run. You didn't even ask who I was. You just knelt down in the rain, took off your coat, and pressed it against my side to stop the bleeding. You stayed with me until you heard the sirens. Then you vanished. You saved the life of the most dangerous man in this city, and you didn't even leave a name. It took me 6 months to find you again, and when I did, you were untouchable. You had a quiet life, a good life. There was no place in it for someone like me. So I waited. I watched you. And when your father got sick, and you needed money, I saw my chance. I made sure you would need me. I made sure there was no other way. Stop shaking your head. You think this is a betrayal. You think I ruined your life. I didn't ruin your life. I secured it. I made sure no one else could ever touch you. No one else could ever claim you. I have been very patient. I have not touched you once without your permission. Do you understand how difficult that has been? To watch you every day, to have you in my house, wearing my clothes, and not put my hands on you? That file in your hand says you owe me $847,000. But that file is meaningless. The numbers in it are completely fabricated. I could have written $1 billion on that paper, and it wouldn't have mattered. I don't care about the money. The money was just the mechanism. It was the only way I could think of to keep you here long enough to realize that you belong with me. I have owned you since the night you saved my life in that alley. The debt was just the paperwork. You can hate me for it. You can scream at me, but you cannot leave. Because you are mine. You have been mine for 2 years, and now you finally know it. You know exactly who you are dealing with, and you know that I am never going to let you go. Leave the folders on the floor. Go back to your room. We will talk about this in the morning. Stay behind me. I told you to stay behind me. I don't care that he asked for you by name. You do not speak to him. You do not even look at him. Mr. Rossi. I didn't realize my penthouse had an open-door policy. You came a long way just to stand in my foyer and make demands. You brought a lot of firepower for a simple conversation. Did you honestly think I would just hand her over? You say she belongs to the syndicate because her father borrowed from one of your associates. You say my purchase of her debt violates our territory agreement. You brought 4 armed men into my home to tell me I made a clerical error? I don't think you understand the situation, Rossi. I didn't buy her debt to make a profit. I didn't buy her debt to play syndicate politics. She is not an asset you can negotiate for. She is not a bargaining chip you can trade at a table. She is mine. And anyone who thinks they can walk into my home and put a price tag on what is mine is not going to walk out. Take him and his men. I don't care how much noise they make. Just get them out of my sight. And make sure Rossi understands, if he ever says her name again, I will take a lot more than his territory. It's over. They are gone. You can come out from behind me now. Are you all right? I am sorry you had to see that. I do not usually handle business in the penthouse, but Rossi needed a very clear message. Give me your hand. Wait, let me see your arm. He scratched you. When he reached for you before the guards took him, he scratched your wrist. It's just a graze, but it is already bruising. My men will make sure he loses that hand before the night is over. That will never happen again. But it proves a point. The fact that Rossi knows you are here means this game is over. I brought you here to keep you safe, to keep you hidden. But the debt is a paper trail, and paper trails can be followed. Even if I kill Rossi, the syndicate knows you are here now. They know you are my weak point. Hold out your hands. Take these. Those are the keys to the black car downstairs. This is a phone with an untraceable number. And that envelope has enough cash to get you out of the city. The debt is erased. I just cleared the accounts. You owe me nothing. You owe them nothing. You are free. The door is unlocked. My guards will not stop you. You can walk out right now and never see me again. Go. She takes the keys. She turns her back to him and takes a step toward the door. He watches her walk away in dead silence, his jaw tight. I said go. The door is right there. You have the keys, you have the money, you have a phone that cannot be tracked. I gave you everything you asked for. Why are you just standing there? You said I was keeping you prisoner. You said you hated being locked in this house, that you hated being bought. Well, I just unbought you. The guards are waiting for you to walk out. The elevator is unlocked. It will take you straight down to the garage. No questions asked. No one will follow you. I am not going to grab you. I am not going to block the door. If you turn the handle right now, you will never see my face again. Turn the handle. Your hand is on it, but you aren't turning it. Your hands shake. Why are you shaking? You know exactly what is on the other side of that door. Your old life, your freedom, the cold apartment, the empty bank account, the constant looking over your shoulder. And you know exactly what is on this side. You watch as her hand drop from the door handle. You let go. You aren't leaving. You could have walked away. You had the perfect exit. You had the money to start over anywhere in the world. You could have forgotten my name by tomorrow morning. But you want to stay. And we both know exactly why. You don't want to be free anymore. You aren't moving. You drop the keys on the floor. Let me walk toward you. I will move very slowly. If you want to pick up the keys and run, this is your last chance. You are still standing there. You aren't even looking at the door anymore. You are just looking at me. Your chest is rising and falling so quickly, but you are staying perfectly planted in place. I am right in front of you. Don't move. He reaches past her, his arm over her shoulder, his body inches from hers, and pushes the door shut until it clicks. He turns the deadbolt. Good. Because I was not ready to let you go yet. You are trapped between me and a locked door. You could push me away. My hands are flat against the wood of the door. I am not holding you down. I am not touching you. But you aren't lifting your hands. You aren't screaming for help. You are just tilting your head back to look at me, waiting for me to close the rest of the distance. You smell like vanilla and fear. I gave you the out. I gave you the money and the car and the open door. And you chose this. You chose me. Do you understand what that means? It means you don't get to pretend you are a victim anymore. It means you are making an active choice to be in a locked room with a very dangerous man. Because you stay because you want to. And I want you to. Step away from the door. Come sit down on the couch. We need to talk about what just happened. No, not about Rossi. About what Rossi means. You think he was just an isolated incident. A single rival trying to cause a problem. He isn't. Rossi is connected to a network. A very large, very violent network. And they operate differently than I do. They don't have rules of engagement. They don't care who gets caught in the crossfire. I told you that your debt was a paper trail. I bought every single piece of paper with your name on it to consolidate the trail, to make it lead only to me. When I owned your debt, you were invisible. You belonged to my holding company, which meant you were protected by my name. But I just erased it. I cleared the accounts to give you the choice to leave. And in doing so, I made you visible again. The system registered the transaction. The debt buyers noticed. They know you aren't an asset on my ledger anymore. Rossi knowing you are here is just the beginning. There will be others who realize that the girl who owed almost $1 million suddenly has a zero balance and is living in my penthouse. You are no longer a random civilian in debt. You are a known associate of mine, which means you are in danger. You didn't realize that, did you? You thought the debt was just a cage. You thought I built it to keep you locked in this house. It was a cage, but it was also armor. As long as you were legally tied to me through those contracts, the rest of the city knew you were untouchable. They thought you were an asset, a piece of property on a balance sheet. And nobody touches my property. No one looks at it. No one even breathes in its direction. That contract kept you wrapped in bulletproof glass. But now you are just a woman standing in my living room with no legal ties to me, no financial obligations. To men like Rossi, that makes you a vulnerability. It makes you leverage, a loose end, someone they can use to force me to the table, someone they can break just to watch me bleed. If they want to get to me, they will come for you, and they will not be gentle. Your hands grip the edge of the couch. I know it's frightening. I am not telling you this to scare you. I tell you this because you need to understand exactly what you choose if you stay in this house. You aren't just choosing to be with a man who stalked you for 2 years and engineered your financial ruin. You choose the danger that comes with him. Let me give you the keys again. Yes, I know you just dropped them. I'll pick them up. Here, take them. Feel how heavy they are. Those keys are the only thing standing between you and the rest of your life. I will unlock the door one last time. If you leave right now, I will have my security team escort you out of the city. They will put you on a private plane. I will set you up in a different country with a new name and enough money that you will never have to worry about the syndicate or Rossi again. You will be perfectly safe, and you will never see me again. I will become a ghost story, a bad memory, something you try to forget when you wake up in the middle of the night. But if you put those keys down, if you stay in this room, you accept that you are a target. You accept that you will always need my protection. And you accept that you are mine. There is no middle ground anymore. There is no just a few more weeks to pay off the debt. It's everything or nothing. It's my name on your skin for the rest of your life, or it's a private jet out of this city tonight. Look at the keys. Look at the door. Now look at me. Make your final choice. And whatever you decide, there is no going back. Choose. The keys are on the table. You aren't even looking at the door. You aren't looking at the money. You are just looking at my hands. Are you sure? I want to hear you say it. You don't have to use words. Your eyes are telling me everything I need to know. Your eyes are telling me that you stopped fighting this a long time ago. That you want this cage just as much as I want to keep you in it. Good. Come here. Stand next to me. This is the original contract you signed on your first day here. The one that transferred all your debt to my holding company. And this is the master file with all your receipts and bank transfers. And those are the digital backups. Deleted. It's gone. All of it. There is no longer a single piece of paper in this world that says you owe me anything. No ledgers, no balances, no contracts. Legally, you are a free woman. You don't owe me a single cent. But we both know that isn't true. You just asked me a question. You asked, if the debt is gone, why am I still standing between you and the door? Because you are standing closer to me now than you were when you owed me $1 million. Because you aren't leaving. You just asked me a question. You asked if I created the debt. If I orchestrated all of this just to get you here. Were you ever free? No. You were never free. You thought you were walking around the city, living your life, making your own choices. But I was always there. I was the reason your landlord suddenly fixed your heating. I was the reason the cafe you worked at mysteriously doubled your hourly wage. I was the one who bought out the lease on your apartment building so you wouldn't be evicted. I watched you from a distance, making sure no one else could hurt you. I was the hand moving the pieces on the board, making sure you were taken care of, until the moment I needed you to fall. And when you fell, I made sure I was the only one waiting at the bottom to catch you. I made sure the net was made of contracts and wire transfers, because I knew it was the only way to get you into this room. So no, you were not free. The illusion of your freedom was just something I allowed you to have, because you weren't ready for me yet. But you are ready now. You just dropped the keys on the table and chose to stay in a locked room with me. You chose the cage. You chose the danger. I don't think you want to be free anymore. The debt was just how I got you to sit in that chair on the first day. It was a contract, a piece of paper. It was a way to keep you from running away before you understood who I was. But it was never the real power I had over you. Do you want to know when I actually bought you? It wasn't at 3 in the morning when I wired those funds. It wasn't when you signed the line on that contract. It wasn't when you moved your things into the guest suite, or when you first wore one of my shirts. You were mine the second you knelt down in that alley 2 years ago. You pressed your coat against my bleeding side. You looked into the eyes of a dying man, and you didn't flinch. You didn't ask if I was a criminal. You didn't ask what I had done to deserve those bullets. You just held me together. In that moment, you saved my life. And in return, you signed yourself over to me forever. You just didn't know it yet. It took 2 years and $800,000 for you to finally realize it. But you belong to me. You always have. The debt was just the paperwork, a formality, a way to force you to look at me long enough to remember. And now the paperwork is gone, but you are still here. I told you that you were mine. I told you the debt was just a way to make sure you stayed long enough to realize it. And I told you the danger that comes with me. I told you about Rossi. I told you about the syndicate. I told you that you will always be a target as long as you stand next to me. So, now stay anyway, even knowing all of that. Even knowing that I built the cage you are standing in. I am asking you to lock the door yourself. One arm fit perfectly right here, like you were made for this exact space, like my hands were made to hold you. I have waited 2 years to hold you like this, to have you look at me without terror in your eyes, without the panic, without the constant need to scan the room for an exit, to have you look at me with surrender. You are not sleeping in the guest suite tonight. You will stay in my room. Not to erase $20,000 from a debt that no longer exists. Not because you are afraid of the men outside this building. And not because I command you to. You stay in my room tonight because I ask. And because you want to. The right side of the bed is already made for you. It has been made for you since the day you arrived. Since the moment I first saw you in that alley. I have always kept a space for you. I will walk down the hall now, and I expect you to follow me. I will not look back. I will simply wait to feel your hand in mine again. Are you coming? Your hand is still on the small of my back. You aren't pulling away. I think I already know your answer.